Thanks for staying with us. Got a question for you. What would you do for a good cause? How much grit do you have? Would you, if you had the opportunity, climb Mount Kilimanjaro? Because we're going to talk with someone right now who did. Rachel Baribeau, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much, Dee, for having me.
Now, that's much different from being the host of SiriusXM and a host of the ACC network, being a broadcaster. Now you turn around and you're going to climb a mountain. How much grit did that take?
It took everything I had. It took everything I had, everything everybody in the party had. There were 6 to 8 hours of hiking a day, 5 days up, 2 days down. And on summit day, we were on our feet and hiking for 18 hours. So as you can imagine, it was the most grueling of tasks. But every time you got tired, I thought about, and our group collectively thought about Kevin. Kevin Turner, my friend who has ALS, who was a fullback at Alabama and with the Patriots and the Eagles. And, you know, Dee, we knew we were going to come off the mountain of Kilimanjaro, but he could not come off the mountain of ALS. Yes. And maybe, just maybe, we thought by the money we raised and the effort that we were making and the awareness that we were creating, that maybe one day somebody will come off the mountain of ALS. And so that was our, you know, our mantra. That was the thing that kept us going when we were tired, when you had nothing left in you, in your 13th hour of 18 hours. It was really just crazy.
I can't even imagine that, Rachel. You know, my little 10-minute workout tape, you know, it's killing me, you know, but you're going all day long. But as a sports broadcaster, the excitement of the game and the love of the game, I guess in the back of the mind sometimes is what is the impact, I guess, sometimes of the repeated brain injuries, maybe of a football player is going to have on the rest of their life? And is there a link between that and some other things, huh?
Yeah, absolutely, Dee. You make a great point, and that's what we know now, that repeated blows to the head can cause traumatic brain injury, can cause diseases. The intensity or the probability of getting a disease like ALS raises, dementia, Alzheimer's, those sorts of diseases. They're very high in soldiers. They're very high in soccer players. They're very high in boxers, in football players. And so that's what the studies are telling us now. And, you know, it's kind of been my life's mission since meeting Kevin, just to educate parents about, hey, your kids are probably going to get a concussion here or there, but it's what you do afterwards. You have to let them rest. It has to be mandatory. Somebody told me one time, a doctor, that when you get a concussion, it's like shaking a snow globe. And what you have to do is let that snow naturally come down to the bottom of the snow globe. But when you go back in and play, when you read, when you are subject to bright lights, to loud noises, you don't allow that brain to heal. And so that's in effect where you have a lot of the damage and going back in. That's what happened to Kevin. He was put back in the game many, many times after having these concussions. So, you know, after meeting him, I felt like it was an aha moment, Dee. And it was one of those convergent points in my life where I said, I'm going to do something to help him, and it's going to be something big.
Excellent. And you know what? This is kind of an aside, though, but you're from Auburn. He's from Alabama. What the heck, huh?
Well, I started my career in Columbus, Georgia, and have roots there and family there, and so very, very proud to call that place a place in my history and in my timeline. And I was there and had the opportunity to go to Tuscaloosa as an Auburn girl, as you mentioned, and cover the Crimson Tide. And I thought about it and prayed about it. And I said yes. And I ended up spending 3 years there and 2 national championships. And it really made me an objective reporter, not just an Auburn girl.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. Is there anything you want to leave us with? Do you think there's hope that parents and coaches are hearing about the brain rest and that we are going to see some advances in the treatment and the knowledge of what's going on?
Absolutely, there's hope. We have a dialogue started now. We're talking about it. The NFL's talking about it with the money that they're handing over to former players. They've got doctors on the sidelines. And so, yes, there's lots of hope. And I want to leave everybody with the website climbforkevin.com. That's climbforkevin.com. Our goal in doing this was not just to climb a mountain, but to raise $100,000 for ALS research. And Dee, to this day, we are $81,000.
Excellent.
Yes. So just 20,000 more to go, my friend.
And you know what that means? The 20,000 watching right now, everybody send in $1, okay?
Yeah,
we can do it. We can do it. Thank you so much. And please come by the studio the next time you're here.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dee.
Okay. Thank you so much. And we'll be right back. Don't you go away. It's the Dee Armstrong Show.